online. And of course, you can still call 601-859-8596. Small town music, come on and get it. 859-8596. Call before you're home. We will have a booth on Canton Square at the Emporium, and you can still browse our guitars and support our original music at www.smalltownmusic.com.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
If it feels like the world's gone a little crazy lately, you're not wrong. They say parents should have a voice. But what happens when no one's listening? Forget the noise, the narratives, and the nonsense. It's time to have real conversations, stand up, speak out, and shine a light on what's really happening inside our schools, our systems, and our government, and what it really means for your family. This is the Lindsey Beckham Show, where we believe in truth over talking points, facts over feelings, and the courage to say what others won't. Because when it comes to our kids, silence is not an option.
Only in America.
Welcome into the Lindsey Beckham Show. Happy Wet Wednesday, everyone. Hopefully you guys over there in Neshoba are getting some sunshine because it is rain here again at the WYAB studios here in Flora, Mississippi. We are live, streaming live as well, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Of course, you can always find the audio live stream worldwide at WYAB.com. I'm joined in studio today by some special guests. You all know that I've been promoting this big event coming up July the 11th, the Fentanyl Walk for Lives. We've had several moms on the show who've talked about the tragedies that have happened in their homes, losing their children to this very deadly, dangerous drug, fentanyl. And I know I say it all the time, but it does not discriminate, and you never know who it's going to come for next. And so this event's coming up in Madison at Liberty Park, July the 11th. And so every week, one day a week leading up to the event, we are going to have some special guests on the show to talk about their experiences and what their careers are, how their careers tie in to putting this event together. So today we're joined by Michael Kelly. Hey, Michael.
Hey, how are you? Thank you for having us today.
Absolutely. And Miss Brenda, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Kelly?
I'm great. So
Wrong one.
No, that's okay. So tell me, Michael, what do you do? What is your involvement, and how did you get involved in this event?
Yeah, well, I guess I need to start 20 years ago.
Okay, go ahead.
That's a long time ago to start an interview with. But my background's in law enforcement. I've been a cop for over 20 years and got to serve as chief of police for the last about 12 years of that in the public safety field. And then I moved over to the public health field and really started to see things differently through a different lens. And I work for Mississippi Public Health Institute as a program manager there. I manage the overdose data to action program with the Institute, where we take data and what we can tangibly put our hands on and see what's happening in our communities and help those communities come up with strategies to do two things primarily. Number one is to reduce overdose and then to eliminate overdose deaths. So that's what I'm privileged to be able to do. And I just want to say thank you for bringing awareness to our communities as it pertains to the fentanyl crisis, because we are in a crisis. And there's just simply, I love it when all the moms get together because they have a voice. But when those moms can partner with people like you to really get this out in the community so we can educate the community, that's when we start to win this war. And it's a battle.
Absolutely. And of course, I know firsthand what being a mom is like. I've got 5 children at home, and I always say, if you want to get something done, go find a mom. Because when moms make their minds up on something, there's usually no stopping us. And this is such an important topic. And like you said, crisis, complete and total crisis. And the more that I learn about how deadly this is, and I said this on the show, it may have been last week, but I talk about it all the time, and I talk to the listeners, and I talk to people within my organization that I work for, Moms for Liberty, and I have kind of become a little bit complacent in not talking to my own children, and I got shaken up.
Yeah.
Hearing some of these stories from these moms, and I was like, I've got to go home and get face to face in front of my children and explain how this can look like something, and you could have no idea that something as small as 2 grains of salt
Yes.
can take out an elephant.
Yes.
It's wild, and you have no idea that that's what you're getting. And so I got a call to action myself. I was convicted my own self to go home and to really talk to my children about it, because like I said, it doesn't discriminate. And these families that I know that have been affected by these fentanyl deaths, these children were intelligent, came from great families, well educated. It can happen to anybody.
Yeah, it absolutely can. And that's one of the messages that we want to get out, is it can happen to anybody. So many times when we have these conversations, especially around substance use disorder and fentanyl, people's minds automatically go to the addict. And while the addict is an important person in our community, because for every addict that's out there is a person who has a potential for recovery, but it's just not addicts who are having these interactions with these deadly drugs. We can tell stories about elderly people who have one too many fentanyl patches on their shoulder, and they're found by EMS personnel. You get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're 73 years old, you've had back surgeries, you put a fentanyl patch on, you take your morning cup of coffee, and then at 7 o'clock, did I put my medicine on, or did I take my medicine, take it again? And next thing you know, you've got a person who's a perfectly healthy, otherwise person experiencing an overdose. So we want to make sure that the community is educated about the dangers of the drug. And just like you said, it does not discriminate against anyone. And the more education that we can provide to the community, the better.
I had a caller call in during one of the shows and ask, why do hospitals still give this type of medicine if it is so highly addictive and we've seen so many deaths from it? Why is it still being given?
Yeah, I think number one, it's okay. Let me back up and say, I'm not a physician. I'm not a medical expert. Okay. But this is what I know about fentanyl. When fentanyl first started being used, it was used like we measure medication now like in milligrams. You'll take every night I take a 10 milligram little pill for heartburn. Okay. And they would measure this and Miss Brenda's a nurse, so she can correct me if I'm wrong, but they would measure this fentanyl in micrograms, and they would give it to patients who were asleep having surgery to mitigate their pain during surgery. And it was very effective. And now it's common. And then you've got, and I don't know that we have time to get into all the politics of it today, but then you've got, these overseas, the Communist Chinese Party and all the foreign actors that are just bringing the precursors over to the United States, and it's being so it's widely available, not only in pharmaceuticals, but also forms of it is being cut in every type of street narcotic that you can get because of the addictive qualities, and it keeps that person coming back in that cycle of addiction. So all of these things are important. All of these things need to be talked about. Parents need to be educated. Parents need to educate their children, especially college-age children, college-age young adults. They're a vulnerable population. Our elderly is a vulnerable population right now. We see a rise in overdoses in that population. And the only way we can combat this is to have open and honest conversations around tables like this, so people can say, okay, I understand now.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And so Ms. Brenda, you are a nurse.
Yeah.
And do you work in addiction recovery?
I do. So I'll give you a little history on me, because it's kind of important to know my background a little bit. Like that Michael said, he went back 20 years. I'm going to go back about 13 years. So I lost my husband in 2009, went back to nursing school.
Oh, wow.
And actually, I've been nursing for 13 years now, but I'm a psych nurse. And then my journey led me to SUD nursing and case management. When I moved back from Colorado, I went travel nursing for a while, and God puts you where He wants you, and I'm so thankful He put me in this position to understand and really understand what addiction is and what substance use disorder is. But I came back to Mississippi, kind of not really wanting to, but they closed my adolescent unit down, and I ended up back here with my kids and grandkids, which I'm so thankful for. But I worked under a grant at the Coastal Family Health Center on the coast of Mississippi. It was a pilot grant local to the coast of Mississippi, and it was for case managing pregnant and parenting women with substance use disorder to help them keep their families together, to keep their babies, to get their children back. So for me, having been born and raised in a very conservative homes, Southern Baptist conservative, you don't do this, don't do that.
Right.
You follow the rules. You don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do drugs. And if you do, you're just a bad person.
Right.
You just, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And that was kind of my attitude. And even as a psych nurse, I didn't really understand it, except I would detox people on a unit. Outside of that, I didn't understand it on the front side of it. And really what we don't see is beneath the iceberg, right? And so, that is where God changed me and humbled me. And as I started meeting with these women that were referred to me and learning about they were the most precious people and the things they had to go through and understanding the trauma they had been through in their life. Or it could just be as simple as I had a major surgery. I was overprescribed opioids for the pain. And there is a need for it when you have severe pain, but the problem comes in when it's overprescribed and not monitored and not titrated slowly off of them. And they just say, oh, by the way, oops, I'm going to just cut you off. Well, then they're going to start looking for it because
they're panicking.
Yeah, they're panicking, and your body, your brain is now rewired to tell you you're in pain, but you're really not. But you're in pain, you got to have it. So it's not really a choice for these people. It's not like someone woke up one day and said, oh, I think I'll just become addicted to drugs and lose my job and my family and live under this bridge. That's not what anybody wants, right?
Yeah.
So and a lot of people think, oh, it's just a choice. They choose that. It is not a choice. It's not a moral failing. It is once you become addicted to a substance, it is your brain is rewired now, and it's a disease of the brain. And I don't even like to use the word disease, really disorder, but you're fighting your brain, basically. It's a battle against the brain, and it can be treated, and you can go to treatment, and you can, in the case of opiate use disorder, we have MAT, which is called medication assisted treatment, to help with that. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but the fentanyl is a crisis for sure. I just want to reiterate a little bit, because like Michael said, a lot of people think, oh, they died of an overdose. They were just an addict. No, it could have been a baby that was crawling in an Airbnb that you went for vacation, and whoever was there before maybe used it and it didn't get cleaned well. The baby came in contact with it and dies, because it takes, like you said, very little to kill someone. It could be a nurse who said, man, I've got a headache. Does anybody have a Tylenol? And she takes the Tylenol, not knowing where they got it from, and it was laced with fentanyl. So it is very dangerous. People are dying every day that didn't intend to die that day. They didn't say, oh, I'm just going to go overdose today. They went to just get one pill, or they wanted a Xanax or whatever the case may be. And fentanyl is a synthetic opioid, and it's like 100 times stronger than morphine. That's how strong that is. And what's even scarier than that is now we have drugs coming out, all new drugs that are coming out that are even stronger than fentanyl. So
and some of them look like candy, bright colored, and they're targeting children.
They are targeting children. And like you said earlier, I tell my grandchildren every day, don't ever take anything from anybody.
Yeah.
And I tell my kids, like, this is real. People are out there. They want them to get addicted. And I get this question all the time. Well, that doesn't make sense. Why would someone that sells drugs want to kill their people who are buying it? Why would they want to kill their clients or their people that are buying it from? I said, oh, no. They know there are going to be a few casualties. They
don't mean to kill them,
but they don't care, because a lot of people are going to be addicted and come back for more. So they know that some people may die, but that's okay, because the other people are going to be addicted and keep buying. And it's all about money. The greed, money is the the fuel for this.
My friend Ann described it as almost like a chocolate chip cookie effect. You take out of a chocolate chip cookie and you might get no chocolate chips, but you might get a whole handful of them.
Right.
And when you are sprinkling this fentanyl into these drugs, all of it could end up in one piece of a pill.
Right.
And the person who gets that's just, they're out of luck that day.
Right. Yeah. Well, I need to back up a little bit now. So my current job is that grant went to the Department of Health in 24. So I have been with the Department of Health now since September of 23. I'm the lead nurse navigator for our substance and opiate programs at the Department of Health. And so we do actually have an MSUD program, which, we provide Suboxone for clients throughout the state of Mississippi and every county. So it's a great program to help people who have opiate use disorder. It stops their cravings. It keeps them from having withdrawals, and it saves lives every day. But, I have heard, I was telling Michael earlier, for the last 6 years, I've worked with so many people with substance use disorder. I've heard so many stories, countless stories of their lives and their past histories and what's going on now. And it's really complex. There's always complexities. It's not just it's not black and white. That's what we were saying earlier. It's not black and white. And so our job is to help them, because these people are great people. They're not bad people. That people just have that misconception. But for instance, I had a lady tell me one day, Miss Brenda, she said, there were about 4 of us. We bought a bag of heroin. I'm the only one that lived. The other 3 died because when they were cutting it, she was the one that didn't get enough fentanyl, but the rest of them did. She said, I should be dead. But that's how it works. Like, you don't know. It's just, it doesn't care who you are. It's just going to kill people until we get a hold of this. And I know we'll never completely win this battle, but we have to educate people and really get the word out there and tell these kids, don't take anything, don't trust anyone or any candy, nothing. Don't take anything.
Absolutely.
So, but that's where we are with it, and we are passionate about saving lives. That's our fuel every day to get up and do the work that we do. I don't know about Michael. I do know Michael. This is not a job to us. Yeah. This is our mission. It's our calling, and it's our mission.
Well, hold that thought, because I want to hear more about that and what led you to feel so convicted for this to be your calling. We got to take a break. So y'all stay with us. There's lots more to get to today on the Lindsey Beckham Show, 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. Be right back.
Keep it tuned to 103.9 WYAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
When it comes to protecting all the things that matter in your world, generations of folks in central Mississippi have trusted Allstate agent Mark Dwyron. Mark knows the right coverage with the right price, helps you feel secure and protected. For decades, Mark's been a trusted agent protecting you against mayhem that is unpredictable. And he's always just a moment away when you need him. Mark Dwyron. For auto, home, life, and more, you're in good hands with Allstate. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Hi, this is Rita Jensen with Remax Connection, and I want to tell you, I've lived in Florida for over 50 years. I'm a graduate of Tri-County Academy, went there the first day the doors opened. If you're thinking about putting your children into Tri-County Academy and need a place to live, then give me a call. Without a doubt, the Florida expert when it comes to real estate. So if you need a place to live, give me a call. Rita Jensen, Remax Connection. 601-720-4037, or go to my website, ritajensen.net.
Hello, friends and neighbors. This is David Frederick. I'm here to tell you about the latest development here at Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. In an effort to always bring you the very best brands, I am proud to announce that Frederick Sales and Service is Central Mississippi's newest dealer for Skag zero-turn mowers and products. We have deals on one of the industry's best brands of zero-turn mowers, Skag. You can buy now and pay later because 0% financing is also available at Fritz. Come see our inventory. We're here serving you for over 3 decades in Brandon since 1993.
Need to ship something fast, print something now, or wrap the perfect gift? Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt, your one-stop shop for all major shipping carriers. We pack and ship with care, offer private mailbox rentals, copy services, create and print banners, print your photos, lamination, binding, and secure document shredding. We always have a notary available, and we do gift wrapping too. Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt across from Callaway's or online at mailroomgluckstadt.com. Stop in today and get it all done in one place.
Are you thinking about your next vehicle purchase? Hi, I'm Casey Ellis, owner of Ellis Autoplex in Brandon. If you've been searching for a clean diesel or half-ton truck, your search is over. At Ellis Autoplex, we specialize in the vehicles people actually want. Whether you're upgrading, buying your first truck, or looking for something the big dealerships don't have, Ellis Autoplex is worth the drive. Stop by and see why more and more people across the Southeast are choosing Little Truck City. Follow us on Facebook or shop online at ellisautoplex.com.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, experience counts. And the Rusty Agency has been serving Madison and the rest of the Jackson Metro for over 35 years. Local agent Landon Thompson is keeping that trusted tradition going strong. As a local independent agent, he's not locked into one provider. The Rusty Healy Agency can shop the top insurance companies to find the best fit for you. And everyone knows that the Rusty Healy Agency and Landon Thompson offer top quality local customer service. Contact Landon today at 601-856-3681.
All in America, dreaming red, white, and blue.
Welcome back into the Lindsey Beckham Show. We are discussing this big event coming up July the 11th. I've been talking about it and reminding you guys about it every day pretty much because I want people to be able to get out and enjoy this event. It's the Fentanyl Walk for Lives. It's going to take place at Liberty Park in Madison, I believe from 10 to 2. There are going to be kids inflatables and food trucks and snow cones and live music, and there are going to be people there to educate on the crisis that we are in when we look at these people dying from fentanyl. Children are dying from fentanyl. And also something that's going to be happening at the event is that there's going to be Narcan available, and there are going to be people out there that can show you how to use that, because that can potentially be a life-saving technique in some of these situations. So tell us about, I don't know, which one of you wants to go first? Tell us about the Narcan.
Well, you said it. It's absolutely a life-saving tool. And as a former law enforcement officer, I can't tell you how many people have been brought back from the brink of death because now we are making sure that not just law enforcement officers and first responders have access to this tool, but the community in general has access to this tool, and it costs them absolutely nothing. For those of you who are watching online and those tuning into the radio, I'm holding a sample of what the naloxone looks like, the applicator.
Move it over just a little bit that way. There you go. Yeah.
There it is, everybody. So when you get a box of this naloxone, and I'll talk about in just a moment how you can get a free box if you'd like.
Yeah,
to
I was
have.
going to about that too.
It's going to come 2 of these applicators in that box, and this is a nasal spray, and as simple as placing the tip of the applicator in someone's nose, pushing the red button. Wait 2 or 3 minutes. You're going to have 2 doses. If they're not getting better, give them the second dose. Of course, we want people to call 911. And if they are experiencing an opioid overdose, this is absolutely going to reverse that overdose and save their life.
It's incredible.
And it is a very intelligent tool. The great thing about this tool is you can do no harm with it. So the 3 of us could take some of this naloxone, put it in our nose right here in the studio. It's going to moisten our sinuses. That's really about the only thing it's going to do. It's really the only thing it will do. You can do no harm. But if someone is experiencing an opioid overdose, it absolutely will reverse that overdose and give them time to be able to get to a higher level of care. And these are available for free throughout the state. We have vending machines that the Institute helps sponsor. 3 vending machines on the Mississippi Gulf Coast for anybody who's listening on the Gulf Coast. They're outside the emergency department of the Singing River Hospital EDs, 1 in Gulfport, 1 in Pascagoula, 1 in Ocean Springs. We have a machine in Hattiesburg. This is fire station number 6, which is really close to the University of Southern Mississippi, to the top. And, I know we probably have a lot of people who are USM haters, but you guys will,
you can throw it in there. It's
you guys will get over it. And we have one here in the Jackson metro area at the Jackson Medical Mall. And then there's others throughout the state that's currently in place that we're not specifically partnered with, such as the University of Mississippi. There's 2 on Ole Miss campus, and we're in talks with other communities about bringing this life-saving tool to the community for absolutely no cost. We provide these to school districts. We just, in Covington County 2 months ago, we trained every school bus driver on how to administer this to children, and we equipped every school bus in the county. And before they go back to school, every school teacher is going to have it in every classroom. And we've done that in the city of Jackson for all of the city of Jackson public schools. We've done it in Smith County. We're doing it all over the state. So we want people to know that this absolutely will save someone's life. Super easy to administer. Our legislature has been great and has put together packages of laws that are Good Samaritan laws that keeps people from any sort of liability for using this. I mean, this is just like CPR. And you wouldn't deny someone CPR who's having a heart attack. If you had access to an AED, a defibrillator, you wouldn't deny that person access to that AED because they're having a heart attack. We shouldn't deny someone access to this 100% life-saving drug if they're experiencing an opioid overdose.
Michael, do I remember correctly at one point you could go online and sign up and they would even mail it to you or ship it to you? Does that program still exist?
Yeah, you can go to, I'll have to look up the website, and I'll do that, during the next break. But we do have a website. I think it's odfree.org, odfree.org. And there's a place within that website you can click on and fill out your information, and we'll send one to your house.
That's awesome. And then you guys will be there July the 11th. If anybody wants to learn more about it or how to use it, you can definitely help them with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd be glad to.
And Ms. Brenda, you were telling me about a program that's offered at the health departments. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'd love to. It's called MSUD, which stands for Medications for Substance Use Disorder, specifically opioid use disorder. Which is our pain pills, your Percocet, your Roxy, Oxy, fentanyl, heroin, those types of opiates, because they are highly addictive. And like we said earlier, there are different reasons that people get to that point, okay? And it's not always just a choice, okay? So we have started this about 2 years ago. We have like over 700 patients in this program. It's a wonderful program. There is no cost to the patients for the appointment or for the medication. We actually ship the medication to them. They go to their local health department, whatever county they live in. We do an assessment. I'm one of the ones that does the assessments for the southern region of the state to see if they're appropriate for the program. And if they are, we get them signed up and get them an appointment made, their initial appointment. It is called buprenorphine, otherwise known as Suboxone or Subutex. That medication is it's a lifesaver, because what it does, it takes away those cravings. I don't want to get too scientific, but it does bind to the opiate receptors in your brain. So it fills that up so that you're not craving the opiates. Okay. That's a simple layman version of it. And then they're not craving it. They're not out there seeking it or going out to buy something off the street that's probably more than likely laced with fentanyl, and they die. So it's saving lives in that perspective. Also, they don't have withdrawals. A lot of people who are in addiction, they don't keep using just because they want to. They're so afraid of withdrawal symptoms, which are horrible. Okay. They don't want to withdraw. It's very painful. I had a patient even tell me this morning, Miss Brenda, it's not only physical for us, it's mental. We are in mental pain at the same time. And that's why, there is stigma surrounding that medication, the buprenorphine, that is exchanging one drug for another, which is totally not true. It is prescribed by physicians, nurse practitioners, monitored. They do drug screens. They are, held accountable, and it saves them from, I've had so many people say, I have my life back. And I feel like a normal person again. If it hadn't been for this, I would probably be dead by now. I would not have gotten my family back. So it's a wonderful, life-saving medication that is a simple thing to prescribe. Like I said, we do the assessments, we make sure they're appropriate for the program. And I just wanted to kind of put that out there because so many people do need it. We have a lot of people in the program. And, every day I do new assessments. But I wanted to make sure people understand that it is not exchanging one drug for another. And that we need to get rid of that myth and that misconception. Even in the recovery community, I've heard people judge one another, and I try to explain to them and educate them that, no, you can't do that. That's just doesn't even make sense. That's just ridiculous. So it is, it's a life-saving medication to help people. And like some people will be on it for a short term. Some people have to be on it for longer term. Everybody's different. Everybody's genetically different, right? Mm-hmm. What may work for me may not work for you. Our journeys are always different.
It's not one size fits all.
No matter what you're dealing with, whether it's liver disease, kidney disease, or SUD, our journeys are different. What treatment might help me may not help you. So we're individuals, and we should be treated that way. And I just really wish that people would really stop and think about, like I mentioned the iceberg earlier, and that's really a good analogy. We see the top of the iceberg. We see the addiction. Mm-hmm. People who don't understand are not educated. Oh my gosh, they're a junkie. They're this, they use all those words. And I've heard it so many times and I get angry. But I'm like, you're seeing the tip of the iceberg. You are not seeing all that's underneath. There's so much more. What happened to them? How did they get to this point? And if you understood that, your attitude would be so different. So we're really trying to get that education out there and inspire people to do better and to treat these people better. Stigma kills. It kills because they won't seek treatment because they're afraid of what the provider's going to say to them, or they're afraid how they're going to be treated in the ER. We've got to treat them with compassion and empathy and help them. That is our job, to help them, not to criticize them, but to say, hey, what can I do to help you?
And then the trickle down effect from that, not only is this possibly saving their life, but then you're putting dads back in homes and moms back with families and who knows what that effect will have on those children who now have their dad back or their mom back. It's again, just a trickle down effect of people that are being helped. We got to take another break, but y'all stay with us because there's lots more to talk about here. This is the Lindsey Beckham Show, 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. WYAB. We'll be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. It's unclear whether international weapons inspectors will be able to monitor and access damaged nuclear sites in Iran. President Trump has said Iran is willing to allow them, but Iran has rejected that. Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Look, obviously, anytime you enter into a negotiation, it's a process of give and take. This is a temporary measure. It's for 60 days. And as a result, we expect them to live up to the commitments they made.
Rubio today in Kuwait City. President Trump canceled today's signing of a bipartisan affordable housing bill. The president on social media said he'll sign it only if Congress passes the Save America Act. The bill passed with a veto-proof margin in Congress, so lawmakers could pass it again into law on their own. A federal judge today barred Trump from implementing a proof of citizenship requirement to vote. Israel denying a claim by a UN-commissioned independent panel that Israel is deliberately shooting children in Gaza and is committing genocide. This is ABC News.
Attention citizens, the call is going out across all of 103.9 WYAB. Each Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m., General Bob Swap Shop summons all able-bodied listeners to buy, sell, and trade. Sign up by calling the phone line and joining the campaign where your stuff becomes the hero of the hour. No shillings, no coins, no enlistment fees of any kind to peddle your personal items. Report for duty each Tuesday at 9 a.m. right here on 103.9 WYAB. General Bob needs you and your stuff.
Delicious food and a relaxing atmosphere combine to make the best place for sports fans and foodie fans to watch the game and just hang out. Capitol Grill of Jackson. Of course they've got the games, but food, oh my goodness. Mouth-watering po' boys, fish, steaks, appetizers, and a specialty pizza menu. Kitchen opens at 5 Monday through Thursday and 11 Friday through Sunday. And happy hours are daily at Capitol Grill. Also enjoy the all-new Tuesday night and karaoke on Wednesday and Friday nights from 8 till midnight with DJ Money Mon. Capitol Grill, DeVille Plaza in Jackson.
Potrillo, hear that call? Best Mexican food of all. Hot and fresh, that's what you get. Every plate you won't forget. El Potrillo, vámonos. Best Mexican food around, you know. El Potrillo, come on through. Fresh, delicious for you. El Potrillo Mexican Restaurant.
El Potrillo Mexican Restaurant, located in Flowood and Brandon.
We all make plans for the future. But car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Let Shelter be your shield. Come see me, Jamie Creel, 601-992-6000.
Need care at home, fast, reliable, and on your schedule? Introducing Home Care to Go, your on-demand concierge care solution. Whether it's personal care, companionship, or short-term support, Home Care to Go brings professional care directly to you when you need it most. Getting started is easy. Visit us at homecare-togo.com to explore available care packages. Home Care to Go, care at your door when you need it most.
From Jacksontown to the radio, this is the Lindsey Beckham Show.
Welcome back into the Lindsey Beckham Show. We are live here in the WYAB studios. We are also streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. If you have any questions or want to call in and ask anything of our guests, the number is 601-879-0002, or you can text in to the Lindsey Beckham Show text line. That number is 601-879-4648. We are talking with Michael and Ms. Brenda here about this big event coming up, July the 11th, the Fentanyl Walk for Lives. That's going to be taking place in Madison at Liberty Park. Michael, you said something during the break that I think really would hit home with a lot of people. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we're talking about stigma, and we're talking about, seeing people through humanity. And I think we need to get back to that. Mm-hmm. Really, in our culture, we need to get back to that. And so many times when we talk about fentanyl and we talk about, having to have naloxone or Narcan and the law, where we categorize people as people who are clean and people who are junkies or dirty. Mm-hmm. And, we've got to get away from that kind of language, and we've got to see people as humans. And we've got to understand, as you said at the beginning of the show, that it's no respecter of persons.
Right.
We see overdoses on the Gulf Coast, which is demographically vote Republican. Mm-hmm. And we see people in the Jackson metro area, demographically, they vote Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
And, we see overdoses in both of those communities.
It doesn't matter what race
it
you are,
doesn't matter what race.
Party.
It doesn't matter your political party. It doesn't matter your religious preference. We're separate. This is what I said during the break. The three of us sitting in this room, mm-hmm. is a traffic accident away and an overzealous pain management clinic that puts us on medication and a predisposed condition in our brain to becoming that addict.
being
And
a
I'm
part
a
of your,
dad.
to being a part of your data.
To be a part of my data.
Yeah.
I'm a dad. And this is a mom and a grandmother. And you said about we're one instant away from that. And that's what we want everybody to understand. I knew a baseball coach who won a state championship, and his state championship baseball ring wound up in a pawn shop because of an addiction. And he was one of the greatest guys that I ever knew. Just a cool, one of the best coaches, person that everybody who I went to high school with wanted to hang around. That's why I do this. I do this for people like him. I do this for people like Mr. James Moore in Hattiesburg, who owns Moore's Bike Shop, who lost his son, Jeffrey. Got out of rehab because he broke a rule. He smoked a cigarette because he was trying to calm his nerves. And the night they kicked him out of rehab, went to the streets, bought a substance that he thought that was safe for him to take. It contained fentanyl, and he passed away. Those stories changed my life. Those stories are the reason why I do this. We have to get beyond looking at people as clean and dirty, junkies and addicts and successful people of the community, and understand that it could happen to any of us. It could happen to our children, our grandparents, the three of us sitting in this room. And when we start looking at this problem through that type of lens and educate ourselves and educate ourselves about prevention methods, then we really can do even greater work than we're doing now. And it starts with your listeners coming out to the event that we're hosting on July the 11th and just having conversations. There's going to be people there that work in our field. They're called peer support specialists. They're people with lived experience who have gone through addiction, have come out of addiction, and are now in recovery and living incredible lives. And their calling in their life now is to help those people who are currently in addiction. So we'll have those people at our event. Ms. Brenda and I will be there, and others, parents, families who's lost loved ones who will be there. And this is a way that we can educate the community. This is a way that we can rally the workers, the frontline people, that we can get together and hang out and support each other. Because I'm telling you, this is, you're talking about, let me say something about Miss Brenda. There's nobody in this state that loves people, especially those who suffer from addiction, more than this lady right here. And we had coffee before we came over, and her phone did not stop going off for people. And I guarantee you it's not her state cell phone either. It's her personal phone of people who know her and know that all they have to do, if they can get in touch with Miss Brenda, that there's hope and recovery possible at the end of the line. And but she also feels the weight of that. So this is an opportunity for those people who are in this space to come together in a beautiful park and to hang out with each other and to support each other and to do those things that is going to make our community healthier.
I appreciate that, Michael. I do really care a lot. And I've been accused of caring too much. I don't think that's possible. And so one thing about me is I don't ever give up on someone. I'm trying not to get emotional because I deal with this every day with people. And sometimes providers or, whether it be primary care or, they don't have time to hear the stories. They don't have time to dig deep. And I do. I don't really, but I do. I take that time because I want every patient that needs to talk and needs to vent or needs to just get it off their chest, and they feel safe with me immediately. They feel safe, and they don't always feel safe with everybody because they know they're going to be judged. But, it's not always, like we said, it's not a direct straight line to recovery. It's called addiction. It is very complex. It's not just like, oh, I quit one day, I'm good for the rest of my life. Sometimes there are relapses, which is part of it. Yeah. The average person goes 7 or 8 times to rehab. Okay. Some people may go one time and they're fine. They're good to go. But that's not everybody's journey, like I said earlier. And so I'm kind of there to pick up the pieces when other people have given up on them. I don't. And if they are turned away or they do something to mess up their program and they get kicked out or whatever, I'm like, let me see what I can find for you, what options, because I have to give them hope that there is hope. And I've had them say to me, you're my saving grace. Miss Brenda, I don't know what I would do without you, but it's just in me. I care because I know, and that's what we're trying to do is educate that it's not that simple. It's not just, oh, you just quit and you're going to follow the rules all the time. They don't, because of not wanting to withdraw, because there's just so much going on in their lives. So it's just not that simple. And so we have to do better. We have to really reach out to them, do what we can to help them. And that's what I do every day. And I'm very passionate about saving lives, because one thing, I work with Dr. Nandi, who is at UMC in the ER, and he is a phenomenal physician. And we both say this, and even Colonel Maxwell and I say this, we can't treat you if you're not here. If we've lost you already, we can't treat you. So we've got to keep you alive. We've got to get the treatment you need. We've got to support you through that recovery, through your sobriety. Even if you relapse, we're still here to help you pick up the pieces.
And I can see why they feel safe with you. Just talking with you, you can tell how much you care and how passionate you are about this and about these people who've become addicted. No offense, Michael, but you're a former police officer. People don't normally feel that way about police officers when they're addicted.
We're changing that culture. Yeah. We're gonna change that culture.
How do we fix that divide between being afraid to talk to police officers?
Yeah, well, I think it starts with training. I think it starts with recruitment. Make sure you recruit people who can be guardians of the community and show empathy where empathy is needed. You're going to have one of, if there's a nurse that I would say is the best nurse in the state, next week you're going to have Colonel Maxwell with the Mississippi Department of Corrections. And if I had to say there's the best cop in the state of Mississippi, it's this guy. Your listeners are going to absolutely love him. And, we need more cops like him. Just law enforcement officers who know when to be empathetic and when to divert someone to services, and then when enforcement of the law is necessary. And it takes a whole of community approach and a lot of training. And probably another 3 or 4 hours of you and I talking about that. But that's stigma that's placed on me. You're a cop, and I don't trust you. And because and whose fault that is? It's mine. Because I used to be that cop who, when I worked on patrol and there was a marijuana seed in the floorboard, I'm going to get me another stat, and I come on, step out, let me get my handcuffs out. That was me. And the reason why I did that, I thought I was protecting my community. I really did. I really was genuine about that. Mm-hmm. But I also knew that I was going to get an award at the Christmas banquet for the most narcotics arrest. And I did for 3 years running. But all that changed when a man walked into my office as I was serving as chief of police with tears in his face, holding a picture of his son. Yeah. And said, Jeffrey wasn't a criminal. Jeffrey was sick. Yeah. He didn't have a moral failing. He had a disease in his brain. And we've got to start treating people differently. Yeah. And it changes you when you sit with a parent who's just had to bury their child. Oh, yeah. And I had ears to hear, and it changed the trajectory of my career. And now I get to do this.
I love that. We got to take our last break, but y'all stay with us. I want to be able to give everyone the details again before we go off air about this event that's coming up that you guys are helping with. Thank y'all so much for taking the time to come in and talk today. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here. WYAB 103.9, The Lindsey Beckham Show. We'll be right back here. WYAB 103.9, The Lindsey Beckham Show.
103.9 WYAB.
When it comes to protecting all the things that matter in your world, generations of folks in central Mississippi have trusted Allstate agent Mark Dwyron. Mark knows the right coverage with the right price helps you feel secure and protected. For decades, Mark's been a trusted agent protecting you against mayhem that is unpredictable, and he's always just a moment away when you need him. Mark Dwyron. For auto, home, life, and more, you're in good hands with Allstate. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity. Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is leveling up. A whole new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is now open at the Reservoir at Beethoven's Boardwalk in Ridgeland, right next door to Cock of the Walk. And the new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris will have all of your old favorites too, like the Acme Dynamite Balls and Garlic Knots, and the best specialty pizzas ever, like the Pig, the Sergeant Pepperoni, the Surf and Turf, and lots more. Come to the all-new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris location on the Res in Ridgeland, next door to Cock of the Walk.
Managing payroll, benefits, workers' comp, and HR tasks can take valuable time away from running your business. That's where People Lease comes in. From payroll processing and tax filing to employee benefits and retirement plan administration, People Lease helps simplify your back office operations while improving employee satisfaction. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Schedule your consultation today at peoplelease.com. That's peoplelease.com.
You wake up tired. You drag through the day. The drive's gone. The focus is gone. And somewhere along the way, you stopped feeling like yourself. At Live Better Men's Health and Wellness in Gluckstadt, they help men take control again with personalized testosterone therapy, wellness treatments, and real answers. Fast lab work, real medical professionals, no judgment. Stop settling for fine. Start living better. Live Better Men's Health. Online at livebettermen.com.
Upgrade your yard this season with Hometown Hardware and Grasshopper. Hometown Hardware in Flora is now a proud Grasshopper mower dealer. Own a Grasshopper, own Mow Day. Hometown Hardware also has a great selection of outdoor power equipment from trusted names like Steel and Milwaukee, as well as Hustler. And don't forget, Hometown Hardware is your garden soil, potting mix, fertilizer, and pine straw headquarters. Hometown Hardware on Highway 49 in Flora.
Even with interest rates higher than recent norms, real estate values are still holding strong in Mississippi. We caught up again with one of Mississippi's top real estate agents, Shane Saxon, to explain his recent activity in the market.
In the last year or so, it's been the best of my career. Interest rates have been high, but the real estate market is here to stay. Land values especially are continuing to rise. Home values are holding. If you need help with anything in real estate, just give me a call.
Find Shane Saxon on Facebook or give him a call at 601-540-5040. Hopper Property, 601-724-1435.
From Jacksontown to the radio, this is the Lindsey Beckham Show.
Welcome back into the last few minutes of the Lindsey Beckham Show. Again, I want to thank Miss Brenda, the best nurse out there, and Michael, both of you for coming in today and taking time to share your hearts and your stories with the listeners. This event coming up that you guys are helping with, the Fentanyl Walk for Lives, Madison County, Liberty Park, July 11th, 10 to 2. Again, there's going to be live music, food trucks, kid bouncy houses, all the fun things, family friendly event. There will be Narcan. There will be people who can show you how to use it. They'll get that to you for free, and you can help save a life. So again, I want to thank you both so much for just taking the time to share your hearts. We have about 1 minute. If there's anything y'all want to say in closing.
You know we can't. In 1 minute.
I'll just real quick and let Michael end it. Yeah, we would love to see y'all there. I'll be there. Michael will be there. Colonel Maxwell will be there. I'll be speaking. Colonel Maxwell. I don't know who else is speaking, but I know Colonel Maxwell and I are speaking that day. But it's a day of remembrance, awareness, education, prevention, and hope. And we would love to see you there. I just want to end with this and let Michael take it. Recovery is possible. Treatment works. People do get better and families can heal. And we've got to keep fighting this fentanyl crisis so we can save lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And to close us out, thank you, Lindsey, for giving us this space to be able to tell our story and to get this message out. We cannot say how much we appreciate you.
No, I appreciate both of you so much, and the work that you're doing out there on the front lines of this drug war and this fentanyl crisis, because it is very real. It's not rare. It is happening, and it is taking the lives of our innocent children who have no idea what they are about to ingest. So thank you both so much.
you.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all get out July the 11th again, Liberty Park, 10 to 2. You'll see us all there. Y'all have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow.